Oh hi. Curitiba, the city in the south of Brazil, in 90 kilometers from the Atlantic Ocean, the administrative center of the state of Paraná. Component of the mesoregion of the same name. Is in structure of the largest city agglomerations of Brazil. Agglomeration Curitiba. Enters the economical and statistical microregion Curitiba. Agglomeration Curitiba includes 26 municipalities with the general population more than 3.2 million people. Age assessment in 2010. That does it by the 7th most populated megalopolis in the country. Curitiba lays claim to the most eco-friendly city of the planet. Thanks to purposeful policy of Zé Lerner. Port. Jaime Lerner. Which totally carried out on a post of the mayor of 12 years. 1971, 1975, 1979, 1984 and 1989, 1992. In Curitiba, very high level of quality of life. This city is famous for the parks and squares, the original transport decision and the system of separate collecting garbage. This city is located on the plateau at the height of 932 meters above sea level. The name is translated from language of local Indians as the pine place, as the so-called Paransky pine is widespread in vicinities. White cut on the plateau where today Curitiba is located, the band errant who came here in search of gold became the first. In the Portuguese documents of colonial times, data on an expedition under Elidoro Ibanes Pereira's leadership from Paranagua in 1650 remained, but in the same place it is mentioned that the territory was already visited earlier, and the eagerness to fight of the inhabiting Plateas of the Indian Guarani is noted. In 1668, 17 colonists under the leadership of Gabriel Lara founded the settlement of the Nose of Senhor de Elas do Penhae here. Port. Nossa Senhora de Elas do Penhae, which was given on March 29, 1693 the official status, as is considered formal date of foundation of the city. Throughout the 18th century the settlement grew quite slowly. Agriculture was major activity of inhabitants. To the end of the century the cattle breeding in the south of Brazil became very favorable, that attracted to the region and to Curitiba, including new inhabitants. In 1842 the settlement acquired the city status with the name Curitiba, and in 1853 the city became the capital of the neogenic state of Paraná. This city economy quickly developed, relying on cattle breeding, wood procurement, mining and cultivation. In 1880-1885 the railroad Curitiba, Paranagua, which provided to the growing city industry an outlet to the sea, was built. By 1893 construction of the Cathedral of Blessed Virgin of Maria in style of a neo-Gothic style. In 1993 he was brought to the level of a small basilica. Was ended. Thanks to rapid economic development in the second half of the 19th century, Curitiba was one of places of resettlement of the European immigrants, mainly the Russian Germans, Italians, Poles and Ukrainians, contributing to economic and cultural development of the city. Traces of these immigrant waves are still well visible in persons, traditions, kitchen and a city architecture. Now a small amount of immigrants arrive, generally from the countries of the Middle East and other countries of South America. In 1894, during so-called Federalistic Revolution of 1893-1895 in the city, there were street fights between supporters of Office of the South and government troops, which ended with a victory of insurgents and escape of the governor. The central government restored control over Curitiba only after the end of war. Thanks to the prospering economy, the management of Curitiba could pay much attention to city planning and improvement of the city. Nowadays, world famous is unique the successful history of development of infrastructure. Curitiba is located on the plateau with heights of 860, 1020 meters above sea level. From the ocean coast of the plateau, the mountain ridge of Serra do Mar separates. Within the city, 4 small rivers on which the artificial lakes, which are recreation areas and sources of water, are built, flow. As well as the most part of the southern Brazil, the territory of the city belongs to a natural zone of Atlantic forests. Climate of the area: subtropical mountain. Is a version oceanic. According to Köppen's classification, belongs to the category CBF. The winter is warm, summer moderate, and hot and rainy. Sharp changes of weather are characteristic of Curitiba. Usually during the winter, temperature falls below 0 C several times at night. Snowfalls happen time in several decades. The last -1962, 1975, 2013. Curitiba is the coldest of all capitals of the Brazilian states. According to the Brazilian Institute of Geography and Statistics, the population of the city in 2013 made 1.85 million people, agglomerations more than 3.2 million. As well as in all southern Brazil, the most part of citizens is made by descendants of the European immigrants of Austria-Hungary, Italy, Germany, and the western areas of the Russian Empire. The Ukrainian Church in Curitiba. Racial structure of the population: white -78.9%, Pardo -16.8%, Afro-Brazilians -2.9%, Asians -1.4%, except descendants of Germans, Poles. Up to 300,000 people, the third largest Polish community in the world after Chicago and New York. And the Italians making most of the population in Curitiba. There are large Japanese, the third in the country, and Jewish communities. In recent years, quickly the number of natives of the Arab countries, mainly Christian refugees, grows. Curitiba historically was the center of the Ukrainian community of Brazil. In the city, about 500,000 Brazilians of the Ukrainian origin live. 1/4 from total number in the country. The few from them know Ukrainian at the level bigger than reading prayers, but traditions, religion, kitchen and holidays of ancestors still enjoy popularity. The crime rate is quite low in comparison with other large cities of Brazil that in general is typical for the cities of the south of the country. Curitiba is the main economic center of the southern Brazil, possessing powerful, diversified economy. This city repeatedly held the top places in various ratings of both the Latin American and world cities on appeal to investment and ease of opening/business. Astaco Shopping Center. In the rating of the global cities of Go, it is recognized as the Gamma City, standing in the same row with Salt Lake City, The Hague, or Dakar. The main branches of urban economy are Mechanical engineering. Production of electronics. Food industry. Light industry. Woodworking. Banking. Retail trade. Tourism. More than 2 million tourists a year. Automotive industry is especially developed in the city. Curitiba takes the second place in Latin America on production of cars. Curitiba is served by the international airport of Afonso Peña. IATA. CB, ICA. Saint. With a passenger turnover of 6.8 million people a year. 2012. Regular passenger flights are carried out to all main cities of Brazil and also to Montevideo, Buenos Aires and Miami. Through the city there pass federal highways of BRI-116. Fortaleza, Porto Alegre. And BRI-277. Paranagua, Foz do Iguaçu. Two available branches of the railroad are used only for cargo transportation. Curitiba is famous as the city, for the first time in the world organized the system of high-speed bus transport, Rede Integrada de Transporte T. RIT. Differing in high cost efficiency and convenience of use and also complete approach to town planning. Higher education institutions. Federal University. Positive University. Papal Catholic University. In the city Oscar Niemeyer's Tea Museum is located. Sport. Stadium Tucat Pereira. Port. Cato Pereira. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.